My dog died last week, and I wanted to make a little art piece to remember him by. Turns out the art piece itself is not the important thing to me. It's more going through the process of making. I think it's helping me with the deal with the grief. He was a huge border collie, the biggest one I ever seen. Calling him part of the family is not figure of speech. He was truly one of us. I had no idea what I was getting into when I brought this cute little puppy home. And it amazes me that his personality never changed from puppy to old dog. Maybe I was infantilizing him a little bit and treating him like a child kept him a child. But still, he never saw me like a master or a father figure. We're more like brothers, partners. The most impressive thing about Raul was the way he looked at you, straight down your eyes. The amount of information you could get from his look and the amount of information he got from your look was unbelievable. After thinking it over for a couple of days, I kind of had a basic idea of what I wanted, and I didn't want to explore different ideas. I just wanted to get this one out of me. So I did a quick sketch and went straight to 3D. So I loaded Blender with a few pictures of him that I liked, and I started sketching. I'm using Freebird XR to be able to sketch in VR inside Blender. I really like this workflow. I used to do that in Quill VR, and the feeling is very similar, except you're already in Blender and you have access to the mirror modifier and some other benefits of using Blender that other VR apps don't have. So I can't wait for this add-on to get better, but as good as it is now, I'm really happy with it, and I will be incorporating this to all my future models. This one I took a little bit further. I'm actually only using this tool for the entire model because I want to get used to it, so take advantage of that. And I like embracing limitations for quick projects like this. I think it helps to dictate a better style and leaves the mark of the tool, and I like that. So for the actual model, I'm just using a bunch of different shapes made with the Hall tool. So I'm pretty much creating volume after volume, and because I already have a 3D sketch there, I can focus on one part of the time without getting lost with the proportions and everything. So, and I really like the planar art style, like changes of planes being obvious and everything, and nothing creates that more than actually making things out of independent little shapes piled together. So I'm digging this style. I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate that to actual characters in the future, but I'm trying. And for this art piece specifically, I know that turning my dead dog into an angel is a bit of a cliche, but that's the idea that I had in mind, and I kind of think would be a cute thing for the kids to see, and that's what I went with. I didn't want to overthink it. I went with the first idea I had. I kind of want to, in the future, I'm gonna try to use less shapes. I'm piling up a lot of them, especially for the face. That being said, I think I was more successful with the blocking stage in the body, just keeping things simple. Later on, I ended up going back in and adding little volumes on the joints to keep things a little bit more solid for 3D printing. For the wings specifically, I actually really liked. My plan was to make a shape for the wings first, and then go back with more intent and actually refine it, but I liked my little sketch so much that I just kept the way I had at first. So I did do a few adjustments of proportions later, but what I did here for the wings is pretty much how it is right now. For his pose, I'm going with a flying standing pose, which is not a very common position for a dog, but Raul was so active that I have a lot of pictures of him mid-air, what's helping me a lot with this piece. And this picture specifically, it's on the spot, right? Like I just need to adjust a few things. And this one is just to remind me how funny he could be as well. Posing in VR is extremely fun and so intuitive, but I had some problems here. I struggled a little bit because my model is made out of hundreds of little parts and not a single mesh with a rig. So Freebird is still under development and it doesn't have a clear way of selecting multiple objects. You can hold the opposite trigger, but then if you do a large selection, you can unselect by mistake parts that are already selected. So I think they're still figuring that part out. I had to power through this with in order to use it for this. I found my way around it. I ended up enjoying the process despite the little headache, and was still worth it because it's so much better to pose things in VR than just with a mouse. Out of everything we used to do together, his favorite thing was swimming. Anytime we got close to water, he would get desperate. He had to get in. And I always had to have a stick or a ball or something for him to fetch. Otherwise, he wouldn't come back. He would just keep swimming. And that's why I want to have water on this piece, on the background, to represent his natural environment. I modeled a little box around a little frame and went back to VR and started just placing some rocks with the hole tool. And I thought of making the ripples of the water with the same tool. It worked, but I wasn't super happy with the scale of it, so I kind of squished everything with the mouse afterwards, just to refine it. But I was impressed that the clouds actually looked decent with this same angular tool. I actually liked how the background turned out, but I decided against using it. I just wouldn't have anywhere to put it. So I started 3D printing this, and it's kind of ironic how his legs were the only part that failed on the 3D print, and in real life his legs were also the first thing that started failing him as he aged. And that was one of the saddest parts. On his youth, if I took him to a dog park, he would find a way to get the biggest and fastest dogs chasing him, and he would slow down enough to get them interest and then just dust them, and repeat that over and over until I whistle for him to come back. He could always keep up with me if we were running, skating, biking, all the way to 11 or 12 years old. Foi mais rápido. Quando ele quer, ele é muito rápido. By his approach 14, he could barely walk. He couldn't even get up by himself anymore. Instead of adjusting settings and reprinting again, running the risk of another failure, I just cut off the legs and printed them by themselves with the hope of saving some material. And it's not that hard to weld, and I needed to send some stuff anyway, so that was a good time to do that. I used this wood burning kit tool that I have to melt away the little supports that I had, and the extra material that I melted doubled down as glue for me to stick the parts together. Not the ideal way of going about because it leaves marks behind, but I was already gonna send some leftover from the supports, and because it wasn't a clear cut where it failed there. I used the soldering iron to kind of polish around and reshape like as I burned. As great as he was, he also had a few problems. He had a bit of a temper to himself. He would snap from time to time if he felt wronged. If I gave him a bone, he would gladly let me take it, but if he found a bone, he would fight me for it. With time we learned how to read him and how to redirect him, and things got a lot better. But we are always a little bit nervous when somebody new was coming over. And when Maeda got pregnant, we got a little scared of how he would react to a child. He's a big and strong dog. Even at his best, he might hurt you by accident. We did our best to prepare him for the changes to come, but he surprised us yet again.
Deixa o Raul ver ela um pouquinho. Muito bem, Raul.
He revealed to us a more gentle and patient side of him that we never experienced before. And just like that, our kids were his kids. He helped us to take care of them, but the roles reversed and they started helping me taking care of him.
Your work, you can use it as those sorts of things, but don't use its output. And if you're going to use its output, understand that you're like taking a risk. Yeah. And I would not recommend it. And that's where my byline is.
The painting process was pretty straightforward. After spraying some filler primer all over, I went with gouache paint, quite thick. I didn't thin it out because I wanted to leave brush marks behind. I did 2 coats of white. The black parts only needed 1. I may end up making another one because I really liked how it looked in gray after the primer, but that always happens to me. I really like the look of the gray sculptures. It's the first time I'm trying to use lights on a 3D print, and I actually really like it. I got those LED filaments out of AliExpress, and I just got a couple AAA batteries and I modeled around it.
Yes.